Welcome back to Frozen Education, this is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about Meten, M-E-T-N, going with the ticker METX. Today we're going to dive through due diligence, technical analysis, fundamentals, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So a leading ELT service provider in China, delivering English language and future skills trainings for Chinese students and professionals. Through a sophisticated digital platform and a nationwide network of learning centers, Meten provides its services under three industry-leading branches or brands. Meten, which is adult and junior ELT services, ABC, which is primarily junior ELT services, and Likeshuo, which is an online ELT service. Superior teaching quality and student satisfaction is underpinned by cutting-edge technology and deployed across the business, including AI-driven centralized teaching management system with record and analyze learning processes in real time. Now the presentation, this is the latest presentation that we could find on their website. This one here was from March 2020. I'm only going to take some of the key information that we can see and compare from now compared to 2019 and 2020. So quick thing here, you're seeing that they have a target to raise up to $100 million in total, including up to $20 million in PIPE. If you do recall, EdtechX has entered previously into an FPA, a forward purchase agreement with Azimut Enterprise to purchase up to $20 million worth of the company. Now, the minimum cash requirement for the deal close was around $30 million, and as a result of that, they milked a lot of money out. And we're going to talk about the offerings that followed this one, just towards going towards raising more money for this company. So the company overview really focuses on English and future skills for Chinese students and young professionals. They're the #1 omni-channel general adult ELT player in China, and you're able to see that the largest online general adult ELT player in omni-channel general ELT market in China, and the data is here to back it up. They have around 1.1 million registered users as of 2020 and around 16,000 online teachers, around 45,000 students enrolled, with a revenue CAGR between 2016 and 2018 of around 113%. So they really put themselves right in the middle as an omni-channel. Similar stocks would be TAL and EDU, and they do have comparisons between them as the omni-channel is somewhere between online and offline realm. Now, they try to show themselves as, well, they're one of the only profitable ones in that stream, and omni-channel, retail plus digital, with around a revenue for adult ELT offline revenue for around $126 million in 2019. Now, in terms of market expenses as a percentage of revenue, they're marketing themselves to be one of the lowest here, around 29.9%, compared to other companies which spend almost up to 110.7% of their total revenue in marketing. Now, in 2020, you're able to see that they had expected consummation of the combination with EdtechX. In terms of 2019, they entered into that definitive agreement. And in 2018, they expanded into junior ELT business and backed by investors including CICC and fund associated with Tsinghua University. In 2014, they had the launch. The first learning center was established in 2006. Now, investments highlights. So they have different things like leading English services provider with established track record and strong brand recognition, and operating in an attractive market and trying to expand capabilities through presence in tier 2 and 3 cities with excellent acquisition and integration capabilities. So they present themselves again as #1 in offline general ELT, adult ELT market in China, and online as well, general same realm. #2 in offline general ELT market in China, which is different than adult ELT, they're #1 there, and #1 in the highest revenue growth rate in China offline general ELT market between 2016 and 2018. They anticipate by 2023 they would reach around 365.9 billion RMBs, which is around $51.2 billion overall. So that's a total revenue of China ELT market that they're anticipating, and they anticipate that they will take around 4.8% market penetration around that time. And so there is definitely some serious growth that they are anticipating, and that kind of gives you an idea about this company itself. And now going towards some of the latest news. So back on September 1st, 2021, they raised a bunch of shares around 30 cents per share with warrants that it can be, or we're also around 30 cents per share or very close to that, 2,999 to be specific. And the company expected to receive around $59.98 million in gross proceeds out of this offering. Back as well into May 2021, you're able to see as well the continuously raised number of shares, so around 22.5 million shares as well. And that was, again, relating towards this offering that we've seen on September 1st, 2021. They also changed their name from Meten EdtechX Education Group to Meten Holdings Group Ltd back on August 11, 2021. And in terms of revenues, you're able to see that the quarter 2 2021 revenues was sitting around $204.8 million. So year over year, that's an 8.2% increase. Meanwhile, they hit a net loss of around 75.7 million RMB. Now, sorry, that 172.6 and 204.8 for gross billings and revenues respectively were in million RMBs and not dollars. So some of the highlights including that, yes, that revenue got an increase of 8.2%, and the primarily result of strong rebounds in gross billing after the impact of COVID-19 has actually faded, and the support by investments in junior ELT segments and new product developments under Meten brand has actually increased by 256.3% year over year in second quarter of 2021. And there's more information relating towards this one. Now, in the second quarter of 2021, the net loss was around $11.7 million, and that's an adjusted net loss decrease of around 32.3% compared to year over year. Last year was around $20 million. So it's not actually, in fact, net profitable. Their earning per shares are around 90 cents loss per share, and that's massive for a company which their stock price is around 40 cents. And in terms of the price over sales, that itself is around 0.3, so it's undervalued around there because the SP 500 is around 4 to 5. And the short interest as a percent float has actually increased to 13.38%, and the number of floating shares is currently around 104.5. Now, before moving on, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on for this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like to this video. If you would like to join our Discord, it's totally free and we're not trying to upsell you in anything. It's in the description below. Now, this company does have institutional backings. Some bigger names such as RG Education Investments has around 5.2%. Virtual Capital is another one that has picked up a lot of these kind of similar shares, 140,000 shares on the 17th of September. However, Bank of America liquidated their position on the 13th of September, and on the 20th of August, Morgan Stanley backed out. Although Savvy Management here, which is one to be known massively in short selling and just in general between retail, and usually stocks don't hold well once they go in. Some people fear them. None of these information are actually more of a sense double checked and fact checked to be actual factual thing with SECs, but rather than observation from the retail market. So Savvy Management here has bought around 734,000 shares, and Citadel Advisors around 138,000 shares. There was some news about this one today as well in terms of their January short squeeze haltings. Now, another thing we want to take a look at here is short shares availability. There's around 2.8 million short shares available to short sell at a short borrow fee rate of around 15.36. And this fund's volumes shows around more than 50% of all the last few days of shares being traded has gone towards the short selling side. For instance, on the 29th, out of 21 million shares traded, 12.8 million of them went towards the short side. Let's move on now towards technical analysis for that. From the technical analysis perspective, we did see a nice jump today of around 9%, even though the market has dropped a little. In the last, I would say, since all September, currently the stock is trading one of the highest, although early on in September, around the 1st of September, this was 94 cents and dropped the next day to closing of around 38 cents. Around 60% of that stock price was wiped kind of in 24 hours. That is quite significant of its own. And ever since there, it kind of started trading sideways, hitting around 29 cents. And today, as other Chinese companies has been rallying, this one kind of pushed forward. This wasn't really playing primarily towards news, but rather towards other stocks being Chinese stocks were actually moving forward, and people try to go for other stocks with similar charts. So this one here has a very similar kind of pattern to something like FAMI. So if I was to show you here, this one, METX and FAMI, you're able to see kind of similar trends, and they're trying to see, well, which stock kind of looks similar, and if it does, then maybe we get this massive push. But basically, they're not even in the same sector other than them two being Chinese stocks. And if you got to understand something about the stock, is that previously, with every kind of jump, they just went on and did offerings and the stock kind of plummeted down. So you got to be very careful about this one. In terms of the MACD, you're able to see that this one is actually going on towards a positive reversal that started around 27th of September. And momentum is actually somewhat around zero, but a little bit more positive than what we've seen before. Other than that, everything else is straight out showing sloppy behavior. In terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, this one is actually jumping upwards, and that's a good thing. And currently on volumes, you see an unexplained surge in volume. Majority of it actually was selling. So there was more selling volume than buying volume today, which is on its own astonishing. This one is expected to trade between 42 cents and 28 cents by the Bollinger Bands, and the moving average bands are between 38 cents and 31 cents. Now, there's no point of actually going ahead and going through Fibonacci retracements as it jumps up from 427 back only in February 2021. Going to 29 cents, it's not going to be feasible. And if we go towards even just back towards last year around the same time, you would have seen around a price point of around $10. So Fibonacci retracements would not be meaningful in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive towards some key supports and resistances in the last month under 15-minute intervals. And we're able to see that there is a significant resistance, or resistance currently sitting closer towards 38 cents, and then above there 40 cents, and then above there 41, a critical one of 43, then 47, and then a massive one of 58, above there 72, 81, and 93. There's a lot more, but that's as far as we're going today. Supports. Critical support at the 36 cents. If it breaks this one, you're probably going to see 34 cents followed by 32. If it does break that one, a very critical one of 31 followed by 30 cents. And if it does break that 30 cents, it is going to hit a new low. You got to also be very careful of things like compliances, because it's a NASDAQ stock nonetheless, and it does need compliance. Now, the last time they were above $1, that was back in around the 28th of June 2021, meaning that they most likely have until November to meet that compliance of $1 for 30 days 10 days business days consecutively. And what's most likely going to happen is a reverse split is going to happen rather than them meeting that requirement. But should you play this one, it's a very risky play, as we get to see, and I would love to join the hype, but my promise to my viewers who actually subscribe and watch me every day is that I'm going to give you factual information based on logic rather than based on pump and dumps. So what do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.